So we have a couple more really easy tools to use. You'll notice that the previous slide and the next slide are grayed out because we only have one slide. So let's add a few more slides to demonstrate that. We'll call this slide 1, and then I'll just add a new slide as we learned before. Make a new blue slide, and we'll put that as a number 2. And we'll make a new black slide and label that number 3. So there you go. Simply by going backwards, we'll jump to 2 and 1, and forward to 2. So when we're at 2, we can get to 1 or 3, and when we're at 3, there's obviously nowhere further to go. So that's pretty straightforward. Also, we can zoom in and out using the zoom in and zoom out. So they're magnifying glasses. I'll go to the minus. Notice my cursor changes, and I'll zoom in this, zoom out in this case, and the 2 gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And I can actually then draw, so I could say, okay, this is a circle around the 2. I'll click on the plus, and I can zoom in, and I can actually zoom in more and more and more and more and more until just part of the 2 is very big, and I could even say, okay, here's a whole group of people, and they're having a grand old time. Big old party, yay. They're jumping up and down on the grass. And now when I zoom out, you see how small they are relative to the original 2. So depending on how complicated your drawings get, that can be a useful little tool. And then related to that is we have Rover here. Now Rover is interesting because if you look at Rover in the instructions, and I'll go back and highlight that for you in the tutorial, Rover, according to the tutorial, is simply for moving around the background picture, which you can see here. However, I have discovered that Rover is really convenient for actually moving the toolbar out of the way. So for example, right now the toolbar is covering the item below, so I'll just push down on it and drag it around. Right? And that's one of the things. But alternatively, if I just click it once, and that allows me to move my picture around as well. And this also comes in handy when you've drawn a picture much bigger than your screen. So for example, if I take my pen and I note that this is the upper left of my screen, whoops, and by the way, that was the button on my pen, and this is the upper right, and this is the lower right, and this is the lower left. Well, this represents the square of my screen. Actually, I could just draw a big square, right? But let's say that you wanted to draw beyond those boundaries. Well, we can actually use Rover and pull over here, and we'll make a, whoops, I have to tap it again, and we'll make another screen over here. We'll say, haha, super secret screen. Right? So that's actually goes beyond the original working area that we had. And then of course, using our other tools, we could zoom out and see the whole thing. It goes big or as small as we'd like. So that's the previous, next, zoom in, zoom out, and Rover items. And next we'll move on to pens, which is always a little bit of fun.